I'm standing in the emptying wedding hall, the sound of shattering dreams echoing off the walls, as the bride's anguished sobs fill the air, her corset still undone, her makeup smeared, her eyes red from crying, and I'm wondering if this wedding will ever happen. Let's pull back for a moment, to a time when love and hope filled the air. As a wedding planner assistant, I've seen my fair share of chaotic weddings, but this one was supposed to be different. The groom and bride, a lovely couple in their mid-20s, had been together since college. They were the picture of happiness, with a beautiful home, a loving family, and a bright future ahead. The groom's parents were over the moon with excitement, having always dreamed of this day for their son. The bride's friends and family adored the groom, and everyone was thrilled to see these two lovebirds tie the knot. The wedding planning process had been smooth sailing, with the couple making all the right decisions, from the venue to the catering and the decorations. But then, just 4 weeks before the big day, the groom vanished into thin air. At first, we thought nothing of it, assuming he was just busy with work or last-minute preparations. But as the days turned into weeks, and the silence from his end became deafening, we started to get worried. The bride was frantic, trying to reach him on every possible platform, but he was nowhere to be found. His friends and family were just as baffled, and no one knew what to make of his disappearance. As the wedding planner assistant, it was my job to ensure that every detail was taken care of, and the couple was happy and stress-free on their big day. But with the groom MIA, I was stuck in a nightmare scenario, trying to coordinate a wedding without the groom. The days ticked by, and the tension mounted. The bride was beside herself, trying to make sense of her fiancé's disappearance. His parents were at a loss, unsure of what to do or say. The bride's friends and family were trying to be supportive, but everyone was on edge, wondering what would happen next. I was caught in the middle, trying to keep the wedding on track, while also dealing with the increasingly frantic bride. And then, the day of the wedding arrived with still no sign of the groom. The ceremony was set to start at 10 a.m., and the bride and her party were scheduled to arrive at 9 a.m. to finish getting ready. As they arrived, the atmosphere was electric with anxiety. The bride was sobbing uncontrollably, her makeup running, her hair a mess. I tried to comfort her, to reassure her that everything would be okay. But deep down, I knew it was far from okay. As the minutes ticked by, the bride's anxiety turned to despair. She was convinced that the groom wasn't coming, that he had left her at the altar. I tried to stay neutral, to keep her calm, but it was no use. She was crying, her body shaking with sobs, and I felt helpless, unsure of what to do. And then, after an hour of waiting, I said something I never thought I'd say to a bride on her wedding day. "You know you don't have to do this, right?" The words hung in the air, like a challenge, a dare to walk away from the chaos that had engulfed her life. But the bride's response was immediate, a passionate declaration of love and commitment. "I still love him," she said, her voice shaking with emotion. "I want to marry him no matter what." As the guests began to leave, the parents started to fight, their voices raised in argument. The atmosphere was toxic, the tension palpable. And then, just as all hope seemed lost, the groom stumbled into the wedding hall, drunk and disheveled. He was angry, his eyes blazing with resentment, and his words cut deep. He lashed out at the bride, blaming her for being upset, for not understanding him. The scene was chaotic, the bride in tears, the groom shouting, and I was caught in the middle, trying to make sense of it all. But despite the chaos, despite the anger and the tears, the bride and groom insisted on getting married. They were determined to see it through no matter what. As I helped the bride fix her hair and makeup, I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. This was not the wedding I had envisioned, not the happy, joyful occasion that I had planned for. But as the bride and groom exchanged their vows, I couldn't help but feel a sense of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they could make it work despite the chaos and the drama. But as it turned out, that hope was short-lived. I heard rumors that they got divorced just 3 months later, a tragic end to a love story that had once been so full of promise. As I look back on that day, I'm still trying to make sense of it all. Was it a case of cold feet, or something more sinister? Did the groom ever explain his disappearance? Or was it just a case of too much stress and too much pressure? The questions still linger, but one thing is certain: that wedding was a day I will never forget, a day that will haunt me for the rest of my career. So I ask you, was the bride right to marry him, despite the chaos and the drama? Or should she have walked away when she had the chance?
If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Drop your verdict in the comments below, subscribe for new stories every single day, and hit the notification bell so you never miss one.